Now back on Sakaar, we closely see this green goop spit out this monster that closely resembles the Hulk. But before we could get any more information on this creature, the comic would then come to a close. Now, actually, officially ending the World War Hulk series. So, well, that was just a lie. Okay. I know I have a lot of explaining to do, but long story short, I actually thought I was finished with the World War Hulk series. Turns out, ladies and gentlemen, my dumbass forgot to talk about the tie-in comic. Now, I'm not gonna go into every single tie-in story because most of them don't seem that interesting to me, but one tie-in story that piqued my curiosity, and I think you guys would really enjoy, is World War Hulk X-Men. And the reason why I say this comic piqued my interest is because, well, the Hulk just generally violates the whole entire X-Men. That's really just it. So if you guys enjoy seeing the X-Men suffer by the hands of the Hulk, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and I guess I could start producing more X-Men content. Anywho, without further ado, let's talk about the time when Hulk absolutely humiliated the X-Men.
Hey, slide, twin.
So the story kicks off with Tony Stark and Charles Xavier talking to one another. Tony explains to the professor that him and the Illuminati made the genius decision to throw Hulk into outer space, throwing him into a space shuttle and launching him into an unknown planet where there are no living inhabitants or creatures for the big green giant to harm. However, for some reason, he never arrived at his destination and ended up off course into a completely different area. Now keep in mind, guys, even though the Illuminati did vote for Hulk to be kicked out of Earth, Charles Xavier was actually the only founding member who didn't bother participating in the vote. Now, I don't really know why he didn't participate. You guys can probably tell me in the comments. But I think in my theory, the reason why he didn't participate, and correct me if I'm wrong, but prior to Hulk being launched into outer space, the mutant population was dwindling pretty fast after Wanda altered reality and depowered thousands of mutants worldwide. So I'm guessing Professor X was just too busy occupied trying to figure out how to prevent the mutant species from going extinct, which led him to being absent in the Illuminati vote. But that's just what I think. Maybe there's a different reason. Anywho, Tony, knowing that Charles didn't participate in the vote, asks him the main important question, that being what stance would he be on with the whole Hulk situation going on. But before we could even get a clear-cut answer from the professor, the comic then transitions into Xavier's Institute, where we can see him on the Cerebro, trying to search for any mutants left after the House of M incident. And let's just face it, but Xavier's ass is not finding any mutants left. Wanda fucked over the mutants so hard that she deadass altered the human genome, that way no more mutants could reproduce. Wanda was deadass like, give me that shit, and snatched away everyone's mutant privileges. Crazy. Cutting back to present day, a group of these mutant kids are training and honing in on their mastery of powers. That way when they enter the battlefield, they don't end up harming any nearby civilians. So while they continue their sparring session, a massive earthquake occurs and the Sentinels that were keeping an eye on the students of Xavier's school flies off because currently a national emergency is happening. So everyone in the group goes over to the TV and turns that shit on to see the Hulk making worldwide threats to everybody on Earth. And as they see this, they start planning their next course of action, deciding what to do next, before then being interrupted by another earthquake, which would have been caused by no other than Hulk himself, who wants to get in contact with Charles Xavier like right now. So Beast, seeing the Hulk outside, turns back to his team and is like, congratulations, you guys are no longer in the Little Leagues. You are now officially a part of the X-Men. Now go out there and don't get your ass fodderized by the Hulk. Nah, Beast's really the smartest dude on the X-Men team, and he's really out here just doing anything. Because why does he have the Weenie Hut Jr. version of the X-Men getting ready to fight the Hulk? I mean, just one good glance at these goofies, and I already know they're about to put up Celtic Shack numbers against Hulk. And my ass ain't wrong either, because when Beast opens the door, Hulk is like, bring me Xavier, bring me Professor X. And Beast says he can't do that. So in response to being declined to see Charles Xavier, he backhands Beast, and the fraud X-Men start jumping in. And I'ma just say this, they were low-key giving Hulk a run for his money, until you realize that Hulk was holding back. like majorly hold him back. And after he stops restraining himself, the team slowly starts to crumble apart. Saying that the team's time is finally up, he slams his fist onto the ground, breaking free from this telekinetic kid's mutant powers, preparing to attack everyone on the X-Men team. Now while that's going on, a mutant healer named Josh has the capabilities of disrupting Hulk's healing factor by touching him and giving him an overdose of Josh's healing touch. And once Beast explains this to Josh, they both go in charging head on, maneuvering through the Hulk and touching his chest, which stops the Hulk from healing. Beast asks Hulk if he knows what they just did to him, and he says yeah, and it only just made him even more pissed off than before. Which is just a lie, might I add. Don't let this series face deceive you. Hulk is secretly having the time of his life whooping these kids' ass. High key, all these mutants are just free XP for the man. I mean, just look at this, for crying out loud. The whole group goes into a formation and Hulk grabs a close by stone and smashes it right on top of them without any hesitation whatsoever. And keep in mind, this whole fight is happening because Xavier's ass doesn't want to show up, which is crazy, might I add, because those are literally his own personal students. Actually, if we're on the topic of Xavier's students, it's gotta freaking suck being in Xavier's school as a student, especially if you're actually on the X-Men team too, because you're really out there just fighting for your life 24/7. Like if I was in the X-Men team, Xavier's gonna have to give me a payroll because I am not fighting the Sentinels for free. Speaking of Sentinels, whenever Xavier is enrolling his students, how does he even explain to the parents that their child isn't even gonna be an actual student and is instead gonna be a child soldier who fights mutant killing robots that may or may not have the chance to kill them?
I was just kidding. Come on. You guys know I was just kidding, right?
Okay. I know what I just said might sound crazy, but am I wrong though? When the X-Men were literally founded as a team, all of them were teenagers, no? And if that's the case, that means Xavier's not only creating child soldiers, but he's technically committing child endangerment because he's sending these kids off to these dangerous ass missions. So technically speaking, this man Xavier is a goddamn criminal. Not only a criminal, but also a weirdo.
Brother,
Man, hang that mutie now! I got the rope right here. Man, I just know the comment section's about to fry me under this video for slandering Xavier like that. Guys, chill. I'm just playing, bro. Xavier's goated. Anyway, back to Hulk beating the X-Men's ass. Hulk claps his hands together and ruptures the eardrum of this telekinetic mutant, which disrupts his powers and focus. Then another mutant would come along and use her sand powers to attack the Hulk, but Hulk would use the water to nullify her sand. Beast swoops in attacking the Hulk, saying that what he's doing is wrong right now since he's attacking kids, but Bruce could honestly care less and smacks away Beast. Rockslide then enters the picture and starts duking it out with the Hulk. And if you guys watch Earth Mighty's Heroes, then you'd know that Hulk is a hard counter to Rockslide.
I can absorb anything, even rock. Hulk smash rock, Einstein.
Hulk would then tear apart both of Rockslide's arms, stomping him into the ground, pinning him down. He'd then throw away the boy's arm and would then turn around shouting who wants to be crippled next. As then, X-23 would come forth, pulling out her claws as she gets ready to attack him. But with one hand, he would grab her, saying that she's a few couple claws short from being a Wolverine sidekick. But jokes on the Hulk, even though she doesn't have the right amount of claws, she does have a couple tricks up her sleeve that makes her different from the regular Wolverine. Revealing another blade from her foot, she cuts Hulk right in his eyes, disorienting him, as now the group has the opportunity to bombard him with attacks. But the attacks are all short-lived, as with one punch, Hulk pushes them all away, knocking them over. And like father, like daughter, X-23 is getting manhandled by the Hulk just like her pop's Wolverine. Yeah, no DNA test needed. This is for sure Wolverine's sorry-ass clone. Cause there's only one other person I could imagine being put in this situation, and that's Wolverine himself. So for X-23 to be getting handled like this, she's honestly making the Wolverine lineage proud. In all seriousness, Hulk tosses X-23 into a building, taking her ass out of the fight for a good minute, and then would grab onto the student and would slam her down, which would incapacitate her, as he then gets ready to end Beast and Josh. But with the painful cut from behind, Hulk turns around and would see no other than the X-Men there, ready to stop him from causing any more damage and havoc. I believe you said you're here for me? Now that I've seen my students to safety, you've got your wish.
Xavier, you're walking again. I can fix that.
Yes, I know you're the strongest one there is physically, but my powers lie in another area. Impossible! The Hulk's mind has always been unique, difficult to control, but I've never encountered anything like this. The rage, like an elemental force. I can't overcome it, and the feedback is enveloping everyone. Good lord, what he endured on that planet. Weakened, enslaved. The trials he faced, unimaginable, and yet he found happiness, friends, a kingdom, a wife, a child on the way. So why is he... Oh. After everyone saw what happened on Sakaar, Charles states that he had no idea that the Illuminati planted a bomb on his spaceship, but he severely doubts that they would even do such a thing to begin with.
I know, but according to what I beat out of Black Bolt, you were supposed to be. You were one of the guys they decided was smart enough to play God, to decide what to do with me. With me! Like I'm a rabid animal. So I'm asking you a question. If you'd been there when they were debating whether to ruin my life, how would you have voted?